John Palmer here with you inside the Bud Light fan zone between the ramps of the Pete Maravich Assembly Center across the state from historic Tiger Stadium. LSU and Nicholls tonight just after 6:30 to get a look at this Nicholls State team and their first trip inside Tiger Stadium. Seth Thomas jumps aboard. He's going to join us now from inside the press box. Seth, thanks for the time. How you doing?
All right, I appreciate you joining you. And I'll tell you what, how exciting is this for the Colonel fans that are here, everybody at home, and been circling this date for a long time.
How's Tiger Stadium looking this evening? You got a pretty good look from there in the press box.
Yeah, it looks great. It's been 15 years since I've actually been in a game here, but I had season tickets before I started calling Nicholls games, and I think everybody in South Louisiana, it's in your DNA to be a Tiger fan, and everybody is. But it looks great. The new video board, the sound. I tell you what, it is. Every time you come in here, it just makes the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
There is a lot of red around. I have seen a ton of it here. A lot of Nicholls State Colonels. Got one walking right in front of the set right now. How big a deal is this to the Nicholls State fan base and all of Thibodaux and Houma that kind of throws its arms around the Colonels?
I think it's really big, and I think the thing about it is a lot of people, usually you got to pick a side. I think all Colonel fans or LSU fans, and I think most LSU fans will tell you that they're Colonel fans. Tonight you have to pick a side, obviously, but for the first time. But really and truly, all these guys on Nicholls, I know you had Coach Rebo, I heard the interview. These guys grew up being LSU fans. They come to Nicholls. Here's a chance to come in here, a place that's so hallowed to everybody in Louisiana. And with 93 Louisiana guys on our roster, you know they're very familiar with LSU and Tiger Stadium, and I guarantee you they are some excited about being out on that field.
Coach Rebo's just done an unbelievable job there. You're the reigning Southland Conference champs. Been such a strong program over the last decade plus. What has made him so successful down there on the Bayou?
Well, I think first of all, he's a Bayou region guy.
Yeah.
You hear it all the time about teams taking the personality of head coach. Well, I can tell you, for 10 years, this Colonel team has been just like Tim Rebo. Tough, hard-nosed, but a player's coach, loves the university. I personally think he had a couple chances to possibly leave. He didn't. He wants to build this program, and he's done an outstanding job. And he's got people in. He's kept the program going. He's got the same coaches, and you can see it in the results. I mean, last year, nobody thought the Colonels were going to win the conference championship, especially after starting 0-3, and he did. But he's a guy that you can expect him to play hard. He's going to be prepared, and if you're a Colonel fan, you just love the guy.
I saw 12 first-team All-Southland pre-season players on this roster. As you look at the Southland Conference slate that's to come, do you feel like Nicholls has as good a chance as anybody to win the league this year?
I think they do, but we're in a little different position. Usually we're the hunter. This year we the hunted. Yeah. No pun intended to you, but and so it's a little different when all those guys gave the preseason pick to the Colonels, but a lot of experience on both sides of the ball and a lot of experience depth. Now, you talk about this game, and I heard him also talking about it. They're trying to improve. Look, let's face it. I think we all know that this is a tall order for the Colonels, and I just think that Coach Rebo wants to see improvement. They'll be able to see it on the tape. I'm not sure you'll be able to see it in the score or what happens on the field, but it's about one-on-one matchups. It's about winning those battles and about these guys testing themselves against some of the best players in the country. So I think that's where you're going to see the improvement. And look, in 4 or 5 weeks, when they line it up against the Southland Conference, you can bet, you can sit there and say, oh, I played against this guy for LSU. This guy's definitely not better than him. So definitely a learning proposition for us, and I expect them to play hard, and let's see what happens.
Dudley DeBosier stands up for the purple and gold and fights for Tiger fans all across Louisiana. Dudley DeBosier, proud to be an official partner of LSU Athletics. We're chatting with Seth Thomas of the Colonel Radio Network. When we come back, we'll talk a little bit about the team on the field tonight, some of the players to watch for in red. We'll do that next. It's LSU Game Day right here on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Back on LSU Game Day, learning more about the Tigers' opponent as Tiger Recon continues on the LSU Sports Radio Network.
Continue our conversation with Seth Thomas, who's inside Tiger Stadium, member of the Colonel Radio Network. LSU and Nicholls, 6:30 inside Tiger Stadium. All right, Seth, I watched the highlights of Nicholls and Louisiana Tech last week, but it looked like it was real sloppy weather-wise up there. Not a ton I could draw from it. So let's talk about this Colonel team, specifically on the offense to start. What's the style look like, and who are a player or two to watch for the Colonels this evening?
Did we lose Seth?
He really? Okay.
Yeah. Pat McQuaid came in, and he had a little rough start. He was used to forcing the ball. He got much better at the end of the year, but also a two-headed monster, that running game with Colin Guggenheim and of course Jalen Spears, and it kind of took off and led the conference in rushing and won games controlling the football. Last week they thought they'd do the same thing, and it took about 3 quarters before the Colonels really got comfortable moving the football. Had their chances, missed a couple of opportunities, and really hurt. I think the thing from an offensive standpoint that you need to see, I think, is the wide receiver step up. We lost our top 2 receivers last year. Nino LeMay and David Robinson moved on, and now we got some guys that have the ability. We're on the same page. Look for Quincy Brown. He had 4 catches last week. He and McQuaid to get on the same page. He could be the go-to guy, but somehow they're going to have to establish the passing game. Our team's going to stack the box and shut down that running game.
Let's talk about the defense for the Colonels. A couple players to watch there and what their goal is tonight against a pretty high-powered LSU offense.
The Colonels have 9 returning starters, and the guy that was the Southland Conference Player of the Week on defense, Eli Ennis, he's been an outstanding outside linebacker. He can rush off the edge. They moved him to the middle this year. Tell you what, here's a guy with a lot of speed. He's not the prototype middle linebacker. He's fast. He can go sideline to sideline, and last week he had 10 tackles. He had an interception, a fumble recovery. He's all over the field. So 44 is a guy to watch in the middle, and I think the strength is the defensive front, I should say. Zach Bernard, you got Mason and Fisher down there, and a lot of experience. A lot of guys coming back, and if they can get after the quarterback, they can make it an interesting night.
Seth, we really appreciate some time. Enjoy Tiger Stadium on a Saturday night. Have a great call and safe travels back to the Bayou. Best of luck to the Colonels in the Southland Conference schedule.
I appreciate you having me.
He's Seth Thomas from the Colonel Radio Network, good enough to give us a little bit of time before their broadcast fires up here in just a few minutes.